Hi, y'all. My name is, and I live on Drive in Round Rock, Texas. And I wanted to report this lady on my street who has a stand in her yard. It looks like she's selling cookies or cupcakes or something. I don't think that's legal. So could you please call me back and let me know what you think?
I'm Kelly from Homemade Texas. Across Texas, cities are clashing with small farmers and cottage food businesses. Think your local cake or bread or egg lady, cracking down on simple neighbor to neighbor sales that take place outside the home. The reason? Zoning laws. Now, since 2013, state law has protected the right of a cottage food operator to produce food in their home, regardless of municipal zoning ordinance, but not to actually sell it there. Take Hutto, Texas, for example. Hutto is a small but growing city on the outskirts of Austin and Round Rock. In April of 2025, the city of Hutto issued a citation to a cottage food producer on her very first day of porch sales. The ordinance they cited states, only incidental sales of services and products are permitted. Sales between the proprietor and the public at the residence are prohibited, excluding occasional sales parties, one per month maximum. In other words, no sales at home, period. Fast forward to September 2025. In Mercedes, a small city in South Texas near Harlingen, officials shut down a curbside baked goods stand, citing a ban on noxious or offensive activity or any commercial activity that could be a nuisance to the neighborhood. In Leander, again near Austin, the city warned the 75 Oaks Farm and Cottage food store that it had 10 days to shut down, claiming a violation of the city's home occupation ordinance, which limits a property to no more than 3 visiting vehicles per day, despite the fact that the farm spans 2.5 acres and its entrance is on a busy mixed-use street with a speed limit of 45 miles an hour. So what's going on? There are a few forces at play. First and foremost, economics. Cottage food businesses and farm stands are more than just side hustles. They're a survival strategy in a brutal economy for small food entrepreneurs. Commercial rent is skyrocketing. Food costs have soared since 2020. Labor is expensive and hard to find. It's no secret that traditional restaurants are drowning in overhead. Operating under cottage food laws allows small producers to cut costs. No commercial lease, no commute, no additional utility bills, and far less waste. Flexible hours also make it possible for families to balance work and caregiving responsibilities. And importantly, selling food from home or a curbside stand is the essence of what cottage food laws are about. Hyperlocal, community-based commerce. It's the kind of small-town charm that many communities claim to value. Apparently, it never occurred to these cities that many people actually like these things.
I like coming to Home Sweet Home Bakery because they have the best oatmeal cream pies.
I want one of every. I can't wait every week for you to be out here.
So, why the pushback? Cities say they're enforcing zoning laws to preserve the quote-unquote residential character of neighborhoods and prevent nuisances. That's not unreasonable on its face. No one wants their street turned into a noisy strip mall, but that's not what most cottage food businesses are. These businesses typically generate minimal traffic, no excessive noise, no offensive odors, and they don't have a glaring commercial footprint. Yet, cities are using outdated zoning ordinances to paint all home-based businesses with the same broad brush. A neighbor selling cupcakes or fresh eggs is being treated like an auto repair shop or a noisy Airbnb. The reality is, many complaints are reactionary. Some people just don't want anything non-residential next door, even if it's harmless. Rules are rules, they argue, regardless of whether the activity is actually disruptive. But at some point, we need to ask, whose interests matter more? And how much control should your neighbors or a local government have over your right to earn a living from your home? If there are legitimate concerns like excessive traffic, parking congestion, trash, noise, those should absolutely be addressed. But enforcing blanket bans with no regard for nuance is lazy governance. The cottage food law movement has grown rapidly over the last 15 years, often outpacing local regulatory frameworks. And let's be real, today's residential neighborhoods aren't the same as they were in 1950. People now conduct all kinds of business at home. Who do you know that doesn't work from home once in a while? They turn homes into Airbnbs. They run Etsy shops. Some people sell on eBay with delivery trucks coming and going all day long, and that's a real-life example from my street. The idea that residential zones must be 100% non-commercial just doesn't reflect modern lifestyles. And cities that enforce outdated regulations without flexibility risk alienating the very residents who make communities vibrant, resilient, and livable. Here's what cities can do instead. Instead of shutting down cottage food businesses entirely, cities should work toward balanced solutions. They could allow limited small-scale commercial activity at home, especially if it doesn't create disruption. They could set reasonable time-based restrictions, like sales only on weekends or limited hours per day. They could create shared market zones, local parks or community centers where cottage food vendors can legally set up. And last but not least, they should evaluate complaints individually instead of treating all home-based businesses as nuisances. A curbside cupcake stand is not a neighborhood menace, and treating it like one is not only unreasonable, it's bad policy. At some point, common sense needs to kick in. People have a right to enjoy their property, but they don't have a right to shut down benign or even beneficial behavior that isn't causing a legitimate nuisance. Property rights go both ways. Other people also have a right to use their property in reasonable ways to make a living, especially when those uses build community and preserve local food systems. The 75 Oaks farm in Leander had thousands of social media followers and organized a community outcry that led to the city backing off, which I'm thrilled about. But what about smaller or brand new businesses that don't have thousands of supporters? Just like in Hutto and Mercedes, broad brush application of these outdated ordinances is snuffing out small businesses in their cradles. If cities don't catch up to the times, they risk more than just bad press. They risk votes. Cottage food businesses are overwhelmingly popular with the public. Politicians who ignore that reality may soon find themselves out of a job. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click the like button and hit subscribe to be notified when we post new content.